99% of effort is wasted. Now, if you study Pareto's principle or the 80-20 law or rule, you'll hear about this often. It's the idea that about 80% of your results or 80% of your customers or 80% of the land owned is usually connected to the 20%. So 20% of the effort, 20% of the people, 20% of your customers account for as much as 80% of the result or the income or the land owned in that example. And so Alfredo Pareto was a Italian economist who was growing pea pods, and he observed that some of his pea pods produced as much as 80% of the peas, right? Some underperformed, and then you had these super performers that accounted for most of the peas in his garden. He happened to be studying wealth in Italy at the time, and so he thought this was curious. He started looking for other patterns, and guess what? He found plenty of them. One particular one specifically that really kind of got him interested in this idea was he observed that about 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the wealthy. Now, this can also be attributed to, or I should say, this law can also be shown in 99% to 1%, or 90 to 10, or 95 to 5. But in some way, it's usually hovering around that 80-20 ratio. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's a little bit less. Like you might have 60% of your customers make up for 40%. But then if you actually, the more you tease it out, the more this power law shows up. It's fascinating. I've been in business and entrepreneurship for years, and I can tell you, like, most of the stuff that we spend our energy on or marketing on, or the projects that we do, most of it's a waste. Like 80% is a waste. And then the small select, like a fifth of what we do, a fifth of all of our marketing dollars, a fifth of all of our efforts, usually counts for like 80% or more of the results we get. It's actually why now I've really simplified my business and gotten rid of a lot of projects, really simplified the team, got down to some core contractors that do the bulk of what I know is generating revenue for the business, and then investing in our customer experience and our products and just keeping that the core foundation of the business. Because like I said, most of the stuff we do outside of that is a waste of time and money. And you fall into this thing in business where you feel like you have to always be doing something, creating whatever. And you probably feel like that in your life or in your job or whatever. And most of the time you don't. What you need to actually do is just figure out what the 20% is. What is the vital few, as it's called, that generates most of the results, where you should laser focus and then invest as much energy into that on a daily basis as you can. Not all the energy, but your best energy. So that might be like an hour of intense focus a day, or 2 or 3 hours, right? If you're doing creative work, usually it's about 3 or 4 hours a day of deep creative work that we can sustain until we're exhausted, and we have to basically take a break until the next day. And then give yourself a lot of space to read, to learn, to think, etc. That's the age of infinite leverage that we're in. It comes from finding what the vital few is, finding what that 1% is, right? And spending as much energy and focus there that you can muster, and then giving yourself space to recuperate until the next day. So what he's saying here is, you go to school, 99% of it is a waste of time. But he's saying you have learning experiences, so you did learn. You might have learned the value of hard work. You learned certain concepts. These things will pay dividends over time. You might have learned something that went deep into your psyche and became a piece of what you're doing now. But generally, about 1% of the efforts you made pay off in kind of a tangible sense. The reason I say this is not to make some glib comment about how 99% of your life is wasteful and only 1% is useful. I say this because you should be very thoughtful and realize in most things, relationships, work, even in learning, what you're trying to do is find the thing that you can go all in on to earn compound interest, as we talked about in the last video. So you're going to spend a lot of time on things, and you're going to get a lot of experiences and talk to a lot of people and try a lot of different things and read a lot of books and watch a lot of movies, do all these different things. But you should continue to be whittling away at what you like, what you enjoy, what's best for you, and spending more time in those domains, and really saying no to most of the stuff that just doesn't appeal to you. If you do that in life, in business, and relationships, you're going to have deeper results, deeper connections, and more fulfillment along the way.